guys. Hello. Hi. Sorry, I had a pretty intense day today, but like for once, like a pretty good intense day, so to speak. Um so I'm interviewing a couple of potential rehoming people for Live. It's finally shifted from just 19-year-old students who are like, oh my god, free bulldog, to like actually people that I could potentially, trust to take care of Liv. So hi Joe, hi Carolyn. So hi Diane, hi Taz, hi Bombi, hi Peavy, hi Nazarko, wow, hi Tyrannus. Ah, Tyrannus says the title could be answered by either the why not both or por qué no los dos, Jesus. Or they're the same picture memes. Well, not quite. Hi, Nick. Hi, Brandy. Oh, hi, Brandy. Hi, Praxis. Hi, Odin. It's funny how I see car part commercials before all of your videos. They know how to target you. They found your niche, Odin, and they know exactly what to show you. Hi, Karen. Hi, Lars. Hi, Kat. Sorry if I missed anyone on TikTok because on YouTube I see comments far more or for far longer than I do on YouTube on TikTok. Hi, fella. Hi, everyone. So yeah, basically, I'm interviewing a couple of potential people for Live. 4 girls had reached. Well, so mostly it's women reaching out to me for her, which I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad, but at first it was just like 19-year-olds who are like, I'm a student and I've been always wanting a dog. And I'm just like, that's cool. Are you able to take care of the dog? So I've also decided that every person that I'm going to interview and consider as a potential like rehoming situation for Liv, I'm going to tell them that in order for me to be okay with them taking the dog, they have to donate, I think like probably $100 to the pet shelter where I got her from, to the bulldog rescue, because I want to make sure that they have the means to like look after her. I want her to have like a forever home that will not surrender her. I've been very honest about, the fact that she could like peruse trash and if you leave your claw clip or anything plastic like your favorite glasses on the couch, she will eat them and things like that. And so basically, like, I've weeded out all the people who are just like, oh my god, free bulldog, to people who genuinely want to like rescue a pet and want her. And yeah, and I've like told them about all of her behavioral things and stuff like that. And there's one girl that I've interviewed today. There are 3 more that I'm talking to tomorrow. I'm also going to a protest tomorrow, rather not a protest, but a rally in front of the Kyiv City administration. And I am going to be it's a rally for POWs. And it's basically, this happens very often. It's almost every week where people gather in front of Kyiv City administration, and it's like a peaceful rally, inciting the government to try harder to exchange, particularly Azov POWs, because they haven't been exchanged in a very long time, because obviously Russia is trying not to do that. So someone's asking, are you giving away Cine or Liv? So if it were my will, I would not be rehoming. I hate the word giving away because I don't want to give her away. Like, I'm not trying, like, I've done everything that is humanly possible to make these dogs get along. And I'm not giving her away. I'm rehoming her. I'm trying to look for a really good, fantastic home for her. Unfortunately, she can't stay in my home because at this point, she doesn't get along with my dog so much, and she's attacked her for food or attention so many times that Cindy at this point can't stand her. And at the sight of her, her hair goes up and she attacks her. So, yeah. I really don't like when people use the word giveaway, because I'm not like handing her off to someone. First of all, I'm trying to find her a home with no other dogs. We didn't know when I took her that she can't be in a home with other dogs, because she is severely attention deprived, and so she fights for attention, and therefore for attention she will attack another dog of the same human. So for instance, like if you are just a random person walking a dog, she's not going to do that. But if you're one person and you have Liv and another dog, Liv will constantly try to fight that other dog for your attention. And that's because of what happened to her in her life. And that's something that I wasn't aware of. That's something that her foster family wasn't aware of. That's something that we couldn't have known, really. So it's not the shelter's fault for not letting me know. It's not anyone's fault, really. It's just something that unfortunately got discovered after months and months and months of work. And it's not like, it happened once and I was like, oh, fuck no. Like, no, it's been 4 months and I've worked with a dog trainer. I've done like everything a human could do, genuinely. And like a bunch of people have told me, thank you, Tara. And a bunch of people have told me like a month and a half ago that I should give up and this is not going to work. And I've given it like until Cindy had literally lost her shit. Pardon my French. But like at this point, the dog that I've had here all along, that has been here before Liv was here, is like miserable and suffering. And at this point, like I have to put Cindy first because Cindy was here all along. And it's like, it's fucked up towards Cindy, So that's kind of where we're at, but I really don't like, the thing is like, I hate that these things about my life are public, because whenever something like this happens, which is like really emotional and really traumatic for me, yes, Robbie, I did try medication. Also, like, I don't think that it's reasonable to keep sedating Liv just so she wouldn't do that if she can have a full and a normal life somewhere else. Like, I think that would be a thing that I'm doing for myself, not for this dog, because I want to keep the dog, but that's not the right thing for the dog. But yes, she was prescribed by her vet. At first, when she had severe anxiety, she was prescribed like anti-anxiety meds, and like, I mean, it worked for her anxiety, but it still didn't prevent her from attacking Cindy. Some dogs have to be the only dog, and like medicating them out of their mind just so they wouldn't like have emotional reactions is not necessarily something that I'm okay with. And you know how I feel about like the over medicating culture of the United States. And like, I don't think like, just not okay with it. Like, I'm just not okay with like stuffing my dog with like, with sedatives just so like she would be like not doing anything. But at this point, like, it's not just Liv, it's just Cindy is so tired of Liv constantly attacking her that Cindy hates Liv. So it's like a whole thing. Anyways, it's like at this point, the shelter owner told me that this is not going to work. 3 different dog trainers told me this is not going to work, and every single person out of all of them tells me that it's the best decision for both of these dogs is for them to live separately. And I am like trying to find her the best family. And I do think that she's going to be like, here's the thing, realistically, she's going to be much happier being alone with no other dogs, because she's going to get all of the attention on herself. And like all of the families that I'm interviewing, I'm like, you do realize, like, you need to understand that you can never have another dog in your household so long as you have Liv. And you can't like one day decide like, oh, maybe we can get a puppy and she's going to get used to the puppy. Like, no, you have to understand that as long as this dog is alive, and I hope that you are going to do everything possible for her to live a long, prosperous life, you are going to have to only have her. No hamsters, like no freaking, well, maybe a hamster, but like no cats, no puppies, no other dogs, no anything like that. She's your dog. That's it. And the four girls that have reached out to me, that have kind of like, that I'm talking to through video, they are they, first of all, they don't want more dogs. And they're super happy with her being the only dog, and they're like, yeah, she'll be the center of my attention. They're super happy with donating to the shelter. They're like happy to do anything that needs to be done, basically. One of the girls that I'm talking to tomorrow, so she lives outside of Lviv in a house with a big yard, and her parents live in a house next door with another big yard that's also fenced. That's fenced off, so it's two separate properties. And they have a dog, but the dog is the parents' dog, so she will have someone to play with that isn't going to be like, the dog like in her house. And if hi Giddy, if that's like, if it turns out that they're good and everything like that, because so far I haven't spoken to them on video, and my criteria is to video call all of them. And then next week I'm going to Lviv for Easter. So if it works out, actually everyone who's reached out to me is from Lviv, which is interesting because that's where I'm from, but that's not where I am. I'm in Kyiv. So it's like interesting that every single person who's reached out to me about Liv is from Lviv and lives in Lviv. And I find it funny. But yeah, so she is, I'm sure that I'll find a good family for her. What else? I went to an art exhibit today by Ukrainian artists, and I thought it was like really, really beautiful. Unfortunately, I only have 2 pictures because I was so like mesmerized that I didn't think of taking pictures until like 2 minutes before we left, when my friend ran into his friends and was talking to them, and I was like, oh fuck, I haven't taken any single photos of the exhibit, which I wanted to show you guys, and I didn't like film anything. So I've become friends with this guy that I really like spending time with, like friendly wise, and we get along really well. And he's been in Kyiv a long time. He also has he like just knows everyone. He's like a very, social type of person. And he always knows like the events that are happening, and he knows all the best restaurants, and he knows like where the most, where the best Thai food is, or like where he's just a very, like a very social kind of person. And so I went out to lunch with him today. And at some point during the lunch, he just says these things like, so by the way, like he's a very in the moment type of person, which is why I really like spending time with him, because it's always something, He's never just like, let's go get coffee and sit at a coffee shop for 3 hours and do nothing, He's just kind of like very on the go. And and so we were sitting at this Thai restaurant, and he was just like, oh yeah, so there's this exhibit that I wanted to stop by. Do you mind? And it's not even like, do you want to go see it? It's just sort of like, oh, we're doing this. Like, are you okay with it? And I was like, sure. So we ended up going to this exhibit, and it was like really cool. What kind of impressed me about this exhibit is that it's a very mini version of the Met in New York, because it's an old Ukrainian building, and it's an old museum building, but it's being renovated. And you kind of, while you're trying to get to the exhibit, you're kind of going through these like very sketchy dark corridors, and it looks horrendous, like really, really horrendous. But it's because it's being renovated. Then you get to the 2nd floor, and you end up in this like huge kind of hall. So you get the tickets, and then you go upstairs to the 3rd floor, which they call for some reason the 2nd floor. And it's kind of like a smaller version of the Met because it has these like grand staircases, and I think it has so much it has so much sort of like it has these like grand staircases. It's very old school, and I think it has so much potential when it's going to be cleaned up and renovated. And so what I really liked about this exhibit is because those were all Ukrainian artists, but modern Ukrainian artists. But it didn't feel any different than if those were, you know, like Monet or Van Gogh or Liechtenstein, because it was all like very different styles of modern art. And it was really cool because, again, so, you know, you guys will never understand this because likely in the countries that you are from, you you likely have always had the works of your artists displayed because you never thought that your artists are lesser than American artists or English artists or Dutch artists or something like that, right? So you likely have always had museums of modern art where you've had, like, for instance, if you're a European, like various different artists from Europe, right? And they were never considered something lesser than. So in Ukraine, we call this the inferiority complex because our own things, because we were told by Russia and by, you know, by all of these other countries that we're not good enough. We would never display them proudly like that because we never thought they were good enough. And so seeing a whole art gallery of modern Ukrainian artists, hi Carl, was phenomenal. And the fact that it looked just as good as the Met, or like just as good as the Guggenheim, or just as good as the MoMA, was like, so I love this. Like, I keep discovering these amazing sort of like exhibits just full of like Ukrainian made things that are so well done and that are so great that it's kind of like, you know, it really makes me really happy. And I know it looks like, so it might be so silly for people because, you know, it might be like such a normal thing for you. But it's like not a normal thing for us, and it's really, really nice to see that our inferiority complex is going away, and that we are actually starting to really embrace our artists and our singers and our painters and our, you know, ceramicists and our I don't even know, everything. And so this is a really, really cool exhibit. I personally really liked it. Also, we just got a donation of $10. Let me pull up where we left off yesterday, which brings us to $13,867.03. So the 3 cents is just, you know, I don't know how it became 3 cents yesterday, but it did at some point. And you know what? Let it be so. So I will show you the 2 paintings that I did take a picture of that were kind of odd, but you know, like I just kind of wanted to like, you know, take a picture. Like, tell me this doesn't look like just tell me this doesn't look like any other cool modern art, you know, exhibit anywhere else. And I know that it sounds stupid because you've probably, like, most modern art exhibits kind of look the same, but you know, so this was in, like, I like this type of stuff. I know this looks very juvenile, and there were so many more, like, much better paintings there. It's just this is some type of this is like the type of art that I would put in my bedroom because, you know, me and beige and minimalism. Also, this friend and I are going to be collaborating on a tiny little clothing drop, because he has like a little clothing line, like a tiny little clothing line. So don't get like overexcited. And we're kind of like hoping to design something together, because I'm as you know, a graphic designer. And so I would like to do that. And it'll be, you know, as in like, it'll be As per usual in Ukraine, profits, or the majority of the profits. Well, I mean, I don't know how he does it, but the majority of the profits will go to the military. So yes, with blue and yellow wearables. So no, I think like the thing is that we don't want to do it. We don't want to do like an overplayed type of theme of Ukraine. We want to take like cool Ukrainian things that are about that are connected to Ukraine, but maybe like abstract patterns with beats and stuff like that, but I don't, but like, I don't want to do the tridents and blue and yellow. I think it's like, it's been overplayed so much. Like, I don't want to make it kitsch, as in like, I don't want to make it the same thing as everybody else does. I want it to be like nice and unique and like, and cute, Oh yeah, kitschy. There we go. And then someone said, "Can we donate to the Rehoming fund if the student can't afford to?" So no, I mean like you can donate to the shelter where I got Liv from, but the whole point is that I want to find her a family that can take care of her, because she is a French bulldog, and French bulldogs come with a plethora of different things that can happen. Like she needs her eyes wiped all the time. She needs a very special kind of food, which for American standards in Ukraine is very cheap, but for Ukrainian standards is really like, I mean, I pay way less for food here for Sydney and Liv than I paid for Sydney in New York, right? For Sydney alone. But for Ukrainian standards, especially for a student, this is not like cheap food. So the thing is like, you would have to support that student and the dog continuously. Otherwise, like, I would not be okay with it, because that means that if Liv has something, if something happens to Liv, I want to be sure that this student is going to be able to afford bringing her to the doctor, or doing these things for her. So someone's playing with the microphone. What? I would take her in Idaho, but so yeah, so I don't know. So this is the type of thing. So it's like, it's a very nice thing to want to donate, so Liv could like live with someone who wants to love her, right? But wanting to love someone is not enough. Also, like 19-year-olds very rarely have boundaries, and she's a rescue dog. So it's like, you have to be firm. Like you can't, like, I'm not saying firm as in like be mean, by no means, but it's not a puppy that you are raising for yourself. It's a dog, and she's a difficult dog. She's a dog who's been through a lot. And like, I don't want a 19-year-old to come home and like Liv has peed or pooped everywhere, and that happens a couple of times, and that 19-year-old is like, oh, fuck it, I don't want this anymore. So that's the thing. It's like, I want a responsible person who has had dogs before, who knows what they're doing, who has the means to take care of the dog, because otherwise it makes no sense. So there is that. So while it's a very, very sweet thing to want to do, I don't think it's necessarily the best thing to do. However, you can donate to the shelter that I got Liv from. You can text me on Instagram, and I will give you the link to it, because it's going to be hard to spell and stuff. And they always have dogs that need help. Or you can donate for drones, easy peasy. So yeah, so there is that. So yeah. Okay, but so the exhibit was really, really cool. Yeah, it's a lifelong commitment, exactly. So the exhibit was really cool. It was very, very nice to see that. I also met my former producer from Kyiv Post this morning, and we were talking about some things that might be exciting, but we will see. Like, I think that I get very excited about projects all the time, and I want to like do everything, because I just want to be able to like talk about Ukraine wherever I can, yeah. And so I think that I overcommit to these things. So I'm not going to be like, oh, we talked about these exciting things and new exciting things are coming. Like we shall see. But there are some cool things that could potentially result from this. And yeah, I'm excited. Ooh, Ralph. Let me see. Wait. Wait, 1 second. Get enough sleep. 50.90 plus 50.97. Oh, which brings us to a nice and round amount of $13,918. So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at today. Tomorrow I'm going to a rally in support of the Azov POWs and in support of exchanging them back to Ukraine and in support of the government doing more to exchange them back to Ukraine. So there is that. I'm really excited to attend this rally. And then today, I really want to talk to you guys about all the things that have not been adding up in this Moscow shopping mall. In this Moscow shopping mall, fire, attack, terrorist attack. And look at that. This is a comment that came in so on time because I realized yesterday that I kind of shortly summarized for you what I meant by the 1999 apartment bombings in Russia, but I didn't give you enough. So I found a 4.5-minute explanation from Business Insider from 6 years ago about the 1999 bombings. We're going to watch that together. And then with that base of knowledge, I'm going to show you more evidence of how this shopping mall, isn't adding up. Was that you just now with the $57 donation? Because I just maybe you weren't here when I announced it, but yes, with the one that evened it out with the 97 cents at the end, and there was also a $10 one. Maybe there was another one just now that I missed, and if I did, then while I'm showing you the video, then I'll yes. That's the one. I just added it up to the total, and it landed us at $13,918. Ooh. So thank you so much. So here's the comment that came in right on time. I assumed this was just Putin doing as he did in 1999 in Buynaksk, Moscow, Volgodonsk, etc., as nothing but an excuse for mobilization and intensified terror on Ukraine. But then, does he need excuses? Russians are now currently calling for the deportation of Tajik immigrants or making these Tajik immigrants fight in Ukraine as punishment. Bingo. He has a really hard time explaining to people why he needs to mobilize 300,000 people to take Kharkiv, since they're already doing so well in Ukraine. So, in my opinion, this is him trying to find an excuse to mobilize more people or justify mobilizing more people. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on so you guys can see it. Russian bombing led to. So I'm going to show you this information because I think this is. I'm sorry, this is just like a stupid ad. It's to play out before I can show you the video. I guess like I'll just have to show it to you with the ad because otherwise you're just listening to a random thing. Okay, so I'm gonna press present and give me a second. I'm going to move because I want you on TikTok to be able to see it, not just listen to it. I think it's important. So, oh my gosh, flip camera. The UX of this is so bad. It pisses me off so much. You have no idea. As a UX designer, TikTok UX is like about one of the worst things on the planet. Okay, 1 sec. Sorry, let me just like even this out. And there we go. Okay. So, sorry, there's good.
Люба,
Ау,
що нам треба замовити на Молдаву?
візьми порошкау, підгуз кау та для собаки мискау.
А для романтики аромасвічка?
had for a number of years a semi-independent government in
I was watching
Chechnya,
it to make sure that
blind not to see what was going on. And in particular, you had to be willfully ignorant if you didn't see the implications of the Ryazan incident. In the summer of 1999, the approval rating of former President Yeltsin was 2%. There appeared to be no chance whatever that Putin, who was designated by Yeltsin as his successor, could possibly become the next Russian president. The apartment bombings changed everything. It was said after those buildings went up that now we're living in a completely different country. Putin came forward as the savior of the country. He was put in charge of a war in Chechnya. The bombings were blamed on Chechens without any evidence whatsoever. And as a result of the successful prosecution of that war, against all odds, he was elected the next Russian president. The apartment bombings appear to be the keystone of a plot to confuse Russian public opinion, to create terror, to distract the Russian public, to redirect their anger away from the corruption that had flourished under Yeltsin and toward the Chechens, who had for a number of years a semi-independent government in Chechnya. And in that way create the conditions for the Russian people to vote in what they absolutely consciously did not want, which was a successor to Yeltsin who would protect Yeltsin. There was an enormous amount of material in the Russian newspaper Novaya Gazeta, which pointed to the possibility and in fact the likelihood that the authorities themselves blew up those buildings. At the same time, a fifth bomb was discovered in the basement of an apartment building in Ryazan, which is a city southeast of Moscow. And I went to Ryazan after the bomb was discovered and defused to talk to local residents. And it was clear from those conversations that what took place was a genuine attempt to blow up a fifth building. The authorities said that this was only a training exercise, but it was nothing of the kind. And what was most important was that 3 persons were arrested for putting a bomb in a building in Ryazan. They turned out to be not Chechens, not terrorists in the usual sense, but rather agents of the Federal Security Service, which is the FSB. I asked for documents from the CIA, from the FBI, from the Directorate of National Intelligence, from the State Department. I got very, very little that was of any use, but I did get a few documents from the State Department, which indicated that their sources of information were telling them that the apartment bombings were extremely suspicious. You had to be deaf, dumb, and blind not to see what was going on. And in particular, you had to be willfully ignorant if you didn't see the implications of the Ryazan incident, in which 3 FSB agents were arrested for putting a fifth bomb in a building, even though the bomb didn't go off, it was a live bomb. What was it doing in the basement of an apartment building?
So, okay, one sec. Let me stop sharing the screen. So, the thing that Putin did with this is Russia usually feels most powerful, as we know, when they're waging a war on someone. To justify waging a war, there needs to be an excuse. So the thing that Putin did through these apartment bombings is basically he created a threat and then he eliminated it, right? Patrushev is a general who was speaking about these apartment bombings and who is credited to have been to have created this as an FSB general. Patrushev also spoke out about the mall being on fire when the mall caught fire. So I found quite a few very interesting videos on Twitter today, actually breaking down this fire at the Russian mall and what's wrong with it, why it does not feel real whatsoever. There were multiple people filming. So here, rundown. So Russia has been. There were just bags of sugar. Wonder if you put that in his coffee. Yeah. So in folklore in all of the post-Soviet countries, the incident in Ryazan is called the apartment bombings of 1999 are called Ryazan sugar. The reason why it's called Ryazan sugar is because there were bags of like explosives, basically, found in the basement of the building. And Patrushev said that those were just bags of sugar. And there were multiple accounts of people carrying them there, and they were not Chechen, they were Russian, and things like that. So if you've seen the memes on Twitter, a lot of people have posted a screenshot from a video game where there is a bunch of people and they're exiting the elevator, and it says, "Remember, guys, no Russian." So like, as in like they're pretending not to be Russian so they can't speak Russian. And the joke was that this was, the Russians before entering the literally any inside operation, because they do a lot of those. So there were multiple. So basically, what ended up happening in this mall in Moscow yesterday is that 4 armed men entered the mall and they indiscriminately shot everybody in the mall. And then the mall caught fire because allegedly they set it on fire or something. So there are a couple of problems with this whole situation. First of all, how did these 4 armed men go through security? Second of all, where was the police? Where was the police at this time, right? Did the mall not have any guards? How did the metal detectors not detect explosives and arm guns? It makes no sense. Then there were lots of people who were posting videos from that mall. And first of all, there is this video from the mall, from the 2nd floor, where this person is literally standing at the balcony, taking a video of these people literally as they are shooting indiscriminately at the random passerbys, right? So first, this person is either an idiot or incredibly brave. Also, these 4 shooters, how did they not see this person that was literally right behind them on the 2nd floor at the balcony taking a video of this? Literally, how? Then there were witnesses who were recording themselves as this was happening. So there's this one guy, Russian guy, and he's filming himself in a selfie mode, and it's like, oh my God, we are at this mall right now, and there are shooters, and they're shooting everyone indiscriminately, and he's giving this crazy detail. Meanwhile, he's in the concert hall, and this is happening outside of the concert hall, as he's saying. So he would have just heard gunshots. He would not have known what's happening, and he's saying they're shooting everyone indiscriminately, which is kind of wild for someone who is just who doesn't know what's happening outside. Another problem with his entire account is that he is imagine you have never been around guns, or you have never been around a mass shooting or something like that. You don't work with guns. You're not in the military. You're not used to hearing gunshots. When you hear gunshots, you're terrified, and your body's natural reaction is you're caved. This guy is standing there as there are gunshots in the background, and he's not even twitching. Then the gunmen enter the concert hall he's at, and he's not even like hiding. He just kind of like sat down and he's continuously filming, and he's like, oh my God, like this is literally the guy who is being attacked in a mass shooting. And he's like, oh my God, they just got here. They're shooting at us now. Like, wild. Like, this is very obviously an actor. And then he's kind of like, and then the next part of this video is him from home, and he's like, we were able to get away. And he's not even like bothered. Like, this guy is not, you don't see shock on his face, you don't see fear, you don't see anything. This guy is just like, yeah, we got away. It was incredibly hard to get away, but we got away. You know, we were like running forward, and then people were running backwards. We were running backwards too. So we figured we shouldn't go there. We went to all of the back entrances. Like, you know, it's just like, it wasn't reasonable, right? So this is wild, because this guy is obviously there and he knew that this would be happening. So there is some man. What the fuck are you talking? You are saying that they make a fake with 6,000 actors. Are you okay? Yes, I am okay, because I know what Russia is and I know how Russia does things. No, 6,000 people were not actors. They were just collateral damage. Because Russia doesn't care for killing their own people to prove a point. So here are some videos that I'm going to demonstrate to you before I give you an account of someone who used to work in this building, talking about how none of this is actually possible. So for instance, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you how the bodies of these people that have been discovered in these shootings, you know, that are being, like, there are videos being taken of them, because, oh my gosh, you know, these people are, okay, so here is, so this is in the aftermath of the shooting of the mall. These are the body bags, allegedly, of the people who have died in the shooting. And here's one of them smoking a cigarette. Here's a dead body that Russian media is filming smoking a fucking cigarette, because that's normal. And this is totally not staged by the Russian media to create a certain picture for their public. This is absolutely normal. I see no problem with this at all. Now we're going to go further down my Twitter, and we're going to arrive at, first of all, I'm going to show you this video.
Нужен был взрыв соответствующих настроений в обществе, нужно было начать войну, нужно было так ее обосновать, чтобы у общества не было вопросов никаких, и чтобы взбунтовать эмоции таким образом, чтобы они победили у людей. Намечались выборы. Из Путина надо было сделать высокорейтинговое существо, которое может из ничего стать хозяином Кремля. В российской терминологии царем. Другого способа, как война, и желательно кровавая, но нет, не было. И его сделали. И войну начали, и сделали ее кровавой. И никого не шокировало летящие на Грозный бомбы. Да, отлично. Все правильно.
Okay, so this is, let me go back to my Twitter, where I shared this. I will also show you this meme. I find it super funny. This says, Ukrainian social media today is full of posts pointing out the obvious absurdity of Russian attempts to pin Friday's Moscow terror attack on Ukraine. Many note that according to Kremlin's propaganda, Ukraine is now a Jewish-led gay Islamist neo-Nazi state, which is so funny. There was also a video that I thought I reposted, but maybe I did not, of this man. Oh, did I not? Oh my gosh. Okay, then give me 1 second. I'm going to find this video. But it's basically a video of this guy who worked at this mall. Sorry, 1 second. There is like a troll on YouTube, and I absolutely love the troll on YouTube. The troll is literally saying, I am from a NATO country. Who out of you guys who are from actual countries that are in NATO Instead of saying I'm from Europe, or I'm in a country, or I'm from here, which is a country in NATO, ever says I'm from a NATO country. No one does. I do love the trolls. They're fantastic. I mean, like, I'm a fan of them. They think that they're gonna like piss me off somehow, but they just don't understand that this is not the right channel for that. Like, I literally do not react to any of your fantastic attempts. To any of your fantastic attempts at convincing me that you're a real concerned citizen of whatever country it is that you claim to be from. Oh, this is so funny. Another Ukrainian patriot fled and living in the USA. Got it. By the way, working on Ukraine propaganda, United 24. I don't work for United 24. I work with United 24. Also, if you had no idea, this is a great opportunity for me to tell you how United 24 actually works. United 24 media is not actually a government media because the government doesn't dictate the media what to do. Most of the teams in United 24 media are outsourced Ukrainian creative agencies, and they actually pitch their ideas for different segments to U24 media, and U24 media either takes them up or doesn't. For instance, I work with a team that is a completely different creative agency that was founded in Kyiv. And we pitch the ideas, and so we create the ideas. And normally we don't even have to pitch them anymore because we've done this segment for over a year and a half. And my creative director basically is the one who comes up with these ideas, who creates these videos, and who pitches them. The reason why United 24 Media speaks so well for Ukrainians is because it is created by Ukrainians, about Ukrainians, and it's created for the people. And it's not actually one man sitting at the top dictating what to do with this channel, which is why I like it so much. Also, here is a funny thing. I'm not in America, honey. I've lived in America for 13 years, and I had just moved back to Kyiv 3 months ago or 2 months ago. Well, I moved to Ukraine 2 or 3 months ago. And I'm currently in Kyiv, Ukraine. So joke's on you. One, I am an American taxpayer, and I'm planning on continuing to be an American taxpayer. So you can't really tell me what American taxpayers need to do or don't want to do or whatever, because I'm one of them. That is one. Two, after 13 years of living in New York, I have moved to Kyiv, and now I'm living here in Kyiv, Ukraine. So for any troll that wants to tell me that I am so bad and I live in America while I talk about Ukraine and I'm a patriot and whatever while I'm hiding in this big country and I'm collecting unemployment or collecting refugee benefits, I've never been a refugee, never collected benefits. I'm an American taxpayer, do live in Kyiv, Ukraine. Are we done? Do you want to F off now? If not, I have a fantastic moderator that will help you out of the door so fast, you will not even notice it. Why did I move back to Ukraine? Because I want to be in Ukraine, because it's my native country and I was born and raised here. My parents live here, and I love my country and I want to be here and do everything I can for it. How much money from my taxes you take to keep your channel? I don't know if you need me to recommend for you a really good ear doctor. I'm so sorry, but I don't take any Russian taxes. You know, I have been to Russia once. I have been to Domodedovo airport. I bought a sandwich for $35 and I never wanted to return. However, I pay taxes to United States. So I don't take any money from anyone's taxes for my channel, because I'll have you know, I pay taxes myself. So if anything, given your level of knowing how to speak English, I will tell you, I don't take your taxes, because I have never, ever, ever received any sort of benefits or payments or payouts from Russia, and I never would. And I doubt you do either. I also don't think you pay taxes, because let's be honest, who the fuck in Russia pays taxes? Anyways, have a good day. I'm excited to meet you. This has been great. I do not have any more time to dedicate to you, really, because that's more than enough, I think. I do want to find the video that I've had. Oh, Dave, thank you. Which so plus $5, which brings us to $13,923 for drones for 3rd Separate Assault Brigade. We will talk about it in a second. I want to find the video. Oi, 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 oi. Sorry, I love these trolls so much. I honestly feel like they don't understand. I don't think they know where they came. But I will read some of their comments because I feel like they're kind of, entertaining, at least while I'm looking for the video I'm looking for, while I'm looking for the video that I want to find. So this lovely man says, when EU and US will stop the source of money, you are done. Okay, cool. When North Korea and Iraq and other dictatorship holes stop supplying you missiles, you are gonna be out of job. And your job, in fact, is to write this garbage. And problem is, I have many different skills and I can find good job and I can do good things. You have a skill of half-assedly speaking English with Google Translate, writing shitty comments on people's YouTube. Do you think that is going to be useful in any other market than Russia paying you enough to buy vodka? I don't think so. So, might be problematic for you. Anyways, again, it's very nice to meet you. I'm having a lot of fun here. So I'm going to try and find the video of this guy who used to work at this mall. Oh, found it. Okay. So, Yatsenko Irina. Okay. Yatsenko Irina. 1 second. I found. Yes, I found the video, and I want to show it to you because it is, in fact, a very, very informative video. It's from a guy that used to work. But I don't understand. I saw it with English subtitles before, and here it's not with English subtitles, so that bothers me quite a bit because I will actually, you know what? I will translate it on the go. It's not a big deal. So we are gonna go here. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to bring this full screen. Sorry, you guys, bear with me for 1 second. I'm just trying to share a screen. Did someone remove the troll? That's so sad. I was like getting attached. Anyways, one second. So for those of you that unfortunately understand Russian, you will not need subtitles or me, but for those of you that fortunately don't understand Russians, you're gonna need some of my help. So here's what I'm gonna do.
Успокойтесь уже со своим крокусом. Уже задолбали все.
So please stop with your crocus. That's the mall where all of that happened. I'm so tired of it.
Во-первых, нет там никакого украинского следа. Во-первых, они
He says, first of all, there is no Ukrainian trace there.
не такие тупые, чтобы, бомбить гражданских, чтобы...
Ukrainians are not that stupid to bomb civilians or to waste their ammo
Патроны тратить вот на этих наватников.
on all of these vatniks, basically like Russian idiots.
Это первое. Второе, в Крокусе я там работал, да, в отеле в аквариум, который...
Secondly, I used to work at Crocus, which is the mall, and I used to work at the hotel that is in the aquarium.
Находится тоже в Крокусе. Кто не знает, это торговый центр, оборудован таким пожаросистемой.
So for those of you that don't know, this mall is decked out in such anti-fire systems.
Системой пожаротушения. Ёбнешься.
You would be fucking amazed.
У тебя в городе такого нету.
No city on the planet has it. I mean, like, he's exaggerating, but still.
А этот Агаларов, миллиардер, бабок туда вложил.
So Agalarov, who is the owner of the mall, who is a billionaire, had put so much money into it.
Мама, не горюй. Так вот, там есть резервуары, там есть система пожаротушения, там есть...
There are reservoirs, there are super advanced anti-fire systems in there.
Есть все. Как, блядь, они могли допустить пронос взрывчатки?
How were they able to bring explosives into the mall?
Туда. Это раз. Как они могли все это поджечь?
How could they put all of this on fire?
Это два. Третье. Металлоискатели как пропустили
How did the metal detectors let people with explosives
оружие, взрывчатку?
And-
Это три.
And guns come in there?
База распределения ОМОНа.
So this is, I'll have to explain. So there is like police and then there's special forces police, right? So he says that the base of the special forces, which in Russia is called OMON, is literally located across the street from this mall.
находится напротив Крокуса. А ОМОН ехал, блядь, целый час. Это
But it took OMON, which is located literally across the street, an hour to get to the location.
4. Потом, что там еще? 4 человека трахнули весь торговый центр с автоматами.
How did 4 people manage to put down an entire shopping mall with automatic rifles?
Где все менты были? Где у пистолеты, у которых там, да?
Where were all of the policemen or security guards with guns?
Ладно, там у охранников нет ничего. А служебное, табельное оружие. Где?
Why did none of the policemen have their guns or literally any sort of weapons?
Где это все, бля? Где это все? И в конце нашли какой-то там старый Мерседес.
And then they found some old and faulty Mercedes van,
разбитый то ли с украинскими или с белорусскими номерами,
either with Ukrainian or Belarusian Russian plates.
там начали. Ну, даже если это были бы украинцы, ну что же они, блядь, не купили бы себе
You think if those were literally Ukrainians, they would not have gotten some sort of a bus
какой-нибудь пазик или какой-нибудь старый спринтер Мерседес
or some old Mercedes Splinter
с российскими
and
номерами.
put
Нет,
Russian
они, блядь,
license
гнали
plate on
нахуй
it?
его
Oh no, they had brought it straight from Ukraine.
с Украины. Это все сделано для того, чтобы гайки затянуть.
All of this is done to screw the bolts tighter.
Это все ФСБ, я повторяю.
All of
Гайки,
this
чтобы
FSB.
затянуть, набрать, блядь, чмобиков.
Because they want to mobilize chmobiks, which are like the recently mobilized people that do not know anything about military or how to serve,
И отправить на Харьков,
and
потому
send
что
them to Kharkov
у этой плешивой моли, у него
because this moldy moth, referring to Putin, has this dream of
мечта вот
capturing
Харьков забрать.
Kharkiv.
Так что вот так.
That's what
Куда
it
не
is.
зайдешь, блядь, крокус. Дайте хоть приколы посмотреть.
Let me see if he's saying anything else that's like of importance. Yeah, no, I think he's already said.
И вот даже если бы, я повторяю, если бы там был бы украинский след, если бы был бы украинский след, и это сделали бы, допустим, диверсия была в сторону Украины.
Anyways, this is like this is just him kind of pontificating, like, even if this was a Ukrainian-made thing, this would be like there would be anyways, he's just like giving his theories as to how Ukrainians would have done it if this was a Ukrainian organized attack. So Odin is asking if this guy is Russian, does he live in Russia? So he appears to be Kazakh to me. The way that he speaks Russian is characteristic of someone who also speaks Kazakh. And what likely happened is he probably worked at Crocus Mall when he was in Moscow to make more money than he could have in Kazakhstan. I doubt that he is in Russia because he would not be saying any of this so publicly. I believe that he must be in Kazakhstan, or so he could be Kazakh, he could be Kyrgyz. Kyrgyz and Kazakh languages are quite similar in that way. And I mean, I can't tell because the accent in Russian from Kyrgyz and from Kazakh to me sounds very similar. I might be wrong. I don't want to say that like the languages are super similar. I don't speak neither Kazakh nor Kyrgyz, but these are quite similar. Also, then ISIS took the blame for it, right? So there is a specific segment of ISIS called ISIS-K. And this is a segment of Muslim population in Russia that belongs to ISIS, and they target Russia. So those are, as you might imagine, Muslim people in Russia, as I just said, and like very obviously. Who does Putin like to mobilize to throw as cannon fodder onto the front line in Ukraine? He likes to mobilize and throw as cannon fodder onto the front line in Ukraine Russian minorities. So now Russians that are so mad that these are the Russian ISIS people who took the blame, you know, they are calling for these people to be mobilized and sent to the front as a punishment. And I mean, not like the actual, like, you know, ISIS members, right? But literally Muslims in Russia. How convenient. Putin gets to blame Ukraine for organizing this because he had said that, like, the van when fleeing crossed the Ukrainian border, which literally makes no sense because Ukraine doesn't allow any traffic incoming from Russia. Russia would not have allowed a bus to come into from Ukraine. But anyways, these are all like obvious things for anybody who has like even a little bit of a brain neuron firing, and you know, and working and sort of making any sort of movement in their brain. But so the Ukrainian thing is literally just an excuse to somehow justify, you know, invading Kharkiv and mobilizing people. And also, I'm 100% expecting some hell to unleash onto Kyiv in the next couple of days. Again, Russia has been bombing Dnipro Dam. Russia has been bombing Kharkiv really, really, really horridly. So all of this has been happening, and all of this is just to justify doing that, right? And to come up with more excuses to do that in the future. So figured out what's going on here. Great. And then, yeah, I think that the ISIS-K specifically taking the blame is literally aimed at Putin having an excuse to forcibly mobilize 300,000 Muslims in Russia. Because people are already calling on it and calling for it. And we know that Putin is known for mobilizing minorities. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with debunking this entire FSB internal operation. Funny, one guy they caught alive is Ukrainian. Oh, really? Because of course he would be. If he was Ukrainian with a Ukrainian passport in Russia 2 years into the full-scale invasion, he would have been forced to take a Russian passport. And if he was Ukrainian, he would not be able to do anything because FSB would come knocking on his door. Of course he's Ukrainian, because Russians have never faked Ukrainian documents or anything like that. Of course, never. Never. Of course he's Ukrainian. Of course. Also, I love how you say funny, the guy they caught alive is Ukrainian, because funny, there's no evidence of the shit you were saying. However, I just showed literal evidence of the dead bodies in the mall in body bags smoking cigarettes. And you would think that's a metaphor for something, but no, I mean legitimately, people pretending to be dead bodies for a nice little photo op for Russian propaganda channels are smoking cigarettes in body bags. Yeah, that's a thing. So anyways, that's kind of what I think happened in the mall. And that makes for the best explanation, especially, based on Russia's previous use of FSB internal operations in order to incite the population to back an idea of Putin or to, give Putin more credit or more backing or more authority or more popularity or more support from the people. And it is working because Russians are literally calling on Putin to mobilize Muslims as a punishment. And I mean, not, the people that supposedly did this, but oh no, just all Muslims, because, in Russia, they're not racist at all. Centuries ago, Robert Burns. So Armin's quote of the day. Centuries ago, Robert Burns wrote, men's inhumanity to man makes countless thousands mourn. His words are as true today as they were in 1786. Yeah. Ah. It's Ukraine and the CIA who did this, of course. Of course. Yulia, where are you located? I'm located in Ukraine. Why? It's obvious that it was a CIA order. Okay, please explain to me how this is obviously a CIA order. Do you understand that Moscow is one of the most surveilled cities on the planet? If you stand at a square and you hold an empty piece of paper, there is a bus of policemen that is discharged to your location to arrest you because you are going against the regime. You want to tell me that there was a bus full of random dudes with guns and explosives that did not trigger any sort of heat camera anywhere in Moscow, and they didn't know? The only way something like that happens in Moscow, and it's not caused by a drone or an aerial missile strike or something like that with military behind it, is if the FSB allows for it. So let's say this was planned by the CIA, then the FSB allowed it to happen and allowed all of these people to be killed to prove a point. The CIA has nothing to do with it. First of all, again, there is already ISIS taking credit for it, so where the fuck are you getting the CIA from? Secondly, there is literally nothing, no evidence indicating any of this other than crazy conspiracy theories you're going to be joyfully reading for days to come on QAnon, which is your favorite reading material. That is the only way that the FSB could be anywhere near this. This is the FSB internal operation, same way as the FSB did in 1999, same way as the FSB did to justify the invasion of Georgia and the invasion of Moldova, and the same way that the FSB does every single time when they need to back a lot of Russian people who are tired and upset behind a cause that is war-related. Because Putin has been saying he needs 300,000 more men for a new offensive on Kharkiv. He wants to take Kharkiv. In order to take Kharkiv, he needs a lot more bodies. He can't do a full mobilization because then his entire narrative of Russia winning so well and not experiencing any losses and whatnot is kind of, it has holes in it, because how are they not having losses and they keep needing more and more people? And covert mobilizations are not working anymore because, there are dead bodies turning up home. There are people who are POWs. There are Russian wives that can't find their husbands and mothers and whatnot, right? So you need to mobilize 300,000 people. You can't do that covertly and in a short period of time. You need the country to back that idea. Also, there is literally zero benefit out of this for the CIA. This does not do anything beneficial for the CIA. What does that do? What does that do for the CIA? CIA burnt a mall. What did that do? How did that help? When you spit out a conspiracy theory that's stupid, you need to have at least some sort of reasoning behind it to back it. Because when you ask yourself a question, why would the CIA do this? What would be the benefit for the CIA? Okay. The reason CIA is looking the most suspect to many of us is because USA were quick to blame ISIS, which is laughable. The USA who? You mean the US media? The US media is quick to blame everyone. The US media is has headlines like Ukraine shot at the Crimean Bridge when there is no evidence of that. The US media likes clicks and stuff like that. ISIS came out and blamed themselves literally immediately after. Well, ISIS took credit for it. So if ISIS took credit for it, then who the fuck are you going to blame? the American State Department is not going to come out and say, hey, Putin did this, right? Because you have to have ironclad evidence. I thought Trump got rid of ISIS. No, he did not. I heard that take today and I was like, wow, what? No, he didn't. What do you mean Trump got rid of ISIS? How did he he got rid of ISIS? How do we know they took credit for it though? Can someone please? Please save me some time and respond to that question. Yeah, so there's that. Oh no, not me. Also, just a gentle reminder, $13,923 is what we are at for the fundraiser for Third Separate Assault Brigade for 6 DJI Mavic 3 drones. So if you would like to donate to this fundraiser and bring it to 14,000 tonight, which would require like what, 67 more dollars, you could do that through my link in bio. And if you're on TikTok or in the comments, hi Netlin, where Grumpy is inevitably going to post it sometime soon. Hi LWD. And on YouTube, Grumpy is going to post that in the comments as well, because he's fantastic and he does do these things. And you can use PayPal, Venmo, or Revolut to donate. And every donation is going to be announced on live and is going to be added to the total. In the meanwhile, because I am oh so tired of talking about Russia so much, even though, you know, this is, I've showed you all the things that aren't adding up, especially, you mean Kirby is the one who claims responsibility. Oh my gosh. Okay. Just so we close this chapter, okay, because clearly this person has not done enough research and or didn't do any research whatsoever. I'm going to go look up ISIS takes credit for Moscow attack. Okay, ISIS claims responsibility for Moscow attack. Let's do this. Oh, I'm even going to turn on Fox News, okay? Because I'm sure that whoever says this type of stuff thinks that CNN and MSNBC are like horrible news outlets. So we're going to go with Fox, you know, so we're not biased here. We're going to bring likely your network of news to you, and we're going to... And one second. Okay, here. I am going to turn on Fox News for you so you can... Oh, I am. Give me a second, baby. Don't you worry. ISIS branch. There you go. And I'm going to show this to you here as well because, you know, we're not going to leave you stranded on TikTok.
Authorities say at least 40 people were killed, 100 more were injured and hurt in this. We're now getting new reports in. The New York Times has this report that a branch of the Islamic State claimed responsibility today for the attack. And that's according to U.S. officials confirming the claim shortly afterward to New York Times reporters on all of this. In the meantime here, we rely so heavily on our friend, national security analyst and retired Marine intelligence officer and co-host of the Strat podcast, Hal Kempfer, who's been following the latest developments in this story. He joins me now. Hal, what a horrible set of circumstances there in Moscow today. I just kind of read the first paragraph of that New York Times report. When you first got the news, what went through your mind? What did your gut tell you? And how are you interpreting this piece of reporting from the New York Times?
Andrew, it was kind of interesting to see it was claimed to be an ISIS attack. But apparently the U.S. Embassy had talked to Moscow, had informed the Russian authorities that they had picked up on something that ISIS was planning an attack in Moscow. I'm not quite sure what the motivation is, but it certainly would not be outside of what ISIS is interested in doing there, that they do such an attack. One thing I would say, though, is be careful about running with those numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, the Russians are notorious for lying about their numbers. So here you have it. This is Fox News. They hate the Democrats. They hate Biden. They hate the Biden administration. They likely hate John Kirby. There you have it. Enjoy. Anyways, you asked me for sources. I gave you the source. You're just a little bit impatient. Anyways. You can also literally go look it up and you can find the original statement from ISIS. I'm not going to do that for you because I'm not your secretary. Anyways, we're going to move on to the rest of the news. Oh, thank you, Allie. There are just so many. Oh, thank you, Reckless. Actually, I charged my power bank yesterday. I did put my bottle into my little bag to go to the bomb shelter if needed. And I put Cindy's bottle, I put Cindy's snacks, and I will put my own snacks into the thing, but I didn't let them stew there overnight. Okay, so we are going to be talking about news in general, not just Russia today, because this live stream is already over an hour and we had just covered Russia. Okay, so 10 Ukrainian pilots in the UK have completed basic training in flying Western fighter jets, the Defense Ministry reports. They will continue advanced training in France before switching to F-16 training. Yulia, your English is good. I know. I've lived in the United States for 13 years, and I speak English since I was 4. Because I did learn it in Ukraine. I learned it in Lviv, where I'm from, and cue in all of the trolls that have been sitting silent over there telling me that I'm a Bandera Nazi. I'm honored. Anyways, so I did learn it in Lviv, Ukraine. The person who taught it to me was a native speaker. So that's why. Also, we got a donation from Mashbook for $31.37, which brings us to $13,954.37. Thank you, LWD. And we are about $46 away from 14,000. Can we make it happen tonight? That would be lovely. So Great Britain announced new military aid for Ukraine worth £60 million. A third of this money will go to air defense systems, while London will also provide reconnaissance drones. Thank you, LWD. Hi, Elvin. Lithuania announced the transfer of its anti-drone systems to Ukraine. Thank you, Lithuania. You're honestly, Lithuania has been spot on, and you know that Lithuania has been supporting us so much. So is Latvia, and so is Estonia. And they're just brilliant. And honestly, the Baltics have been advocating for Ukraine the most, and the Baltics have been giving Ukraine the most support according to their GDPs. So it's basically, they have been giving us the largest numbers of support based on the percentage from their GDP. The head of the FSB, Alexander Bortnikov, informed Putin that 11 people had been detained, including 4 terrorists who probably participated in the attack on Crocus City Hall, the Kremlin press service reported. CBS News writes that the United States warned Russia about the terrorist attack and provided intelligence about a potential attack. A few days before the attack, Putin called these warnings blackmail. Bortnikov is the person who is also very much known for all of the FSB poisonings, for Novichok, for all of these things. President Zelensky stated that Kharkiv continues to face the most challenging situation in the energy system following the extensive attack by the Russians. Efforts are underway to reconnect consumers. In the Dnipropetrovsk region, electricity has been restored almost entirely, with the exception of a portion of Nikopol. In the Sumy, Poltava, Odessa, Vinnytsia, Ivano-Frankivsk, Khmelnytsky, Mykolaiv, and Zaporizhia regions, the technical capability for electricity supply has been restored across the board. There is some good news. You remember how this article was floating that the US told Ukraine they can't strike facilities in Russia, oil refineries, because the price of crude was gonna go up, which makes no sense in accordance to the market, which literally genuinely would make zero sense, and that's not how the markets work. And people were saying that all Ukraine has to do to disprove this is strike an oil refinery in Russia, and then because Ukraine hasn't done that in the past couple of days. Yes, well, Ukraine was a little busy, because Kyiv was under a huge mass missile attack 2 days ago. I literally woke up because there was air defense working so close to me and my window was open, that it felt like a missile had blown up in front of my window or outside of my window. It did not. It did. A missile was taken down quite not far from me, as were 30 other missiles in the next 2 hours. And yeah, so Ukraine was a little busy. Then Kharkiv was targeted and Zaporizhia was targeted the next day in mass missile attacks. Dnipro dam as well, one of the largest dams in Europe, and it was one of the biggest attacks on a dam. Since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, this dam is about as large and as catastrophic as the Kakhovka Dam, and if this dam were to flood, which it miraculously didn't, that would result in a very, very catastrophic scenario for Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. But of course, no one was writing about that because they were busy spreading disinformation that the US told Ukraine to not strike oil refineries. So here is some news for you. The Kuibyshev oil refinery in the Samara region burned tonight. The local government plant was attacked by unknown UAVs, causing a primary oil refining column to catch fire. I mean, hey, Ukrainian government disproving that the Ukrainian government making an official statement that the US never told Ukrainian any such thing wasn't enough. So here you have it. Ukraine struck an oil refinery. Putin made an appeal regarding the terrorist attack at Crocus City Hall. During the address, he announced March 24th as the day of national mourning in Russia. The president of the Russian Federation also claimed that the Ukrainian side allegedly prepared a route for the ISIS terrorists, of course, for the attackers to escape to Russian territory. However, according to Putin, all 4 perpetrators of the terrorist attack were detained. How did they know that Ukraine prepared a route if the attackers were detained? No one knows. Earlier, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine categorically rejected all accusations made by Russian officials regarding the alleged involvement of Ukraine. These claims were also refuted by the advisor to the head of the president's office. There's that. I'm going to show you an interesting video from United 24. You know, I do like showing you those videos. As I said, it's a collaborative platform for Ukrainian creative agencies to come up with ideas of what they would like to show to Western audiences. Not a government propaganda channel. But anyways, oh, Robbie, you're gonna you don't have enough fingers to report all the bots that are showing up here today, but that makes me so happy. I'm so happy that I'm discoverable by bots. It's so lovely. I miss them. And they give me so much joy. Like, they make my mood. They entertain us. Like, they're fantastic. I don't think they understand how much I like seeing them. They think they annoy me. They think they, somehow upset me. They don't.
The Russians unleashed a full-scale war Heaven 9 A-50s. This is an early warning and control aircraft capable of monitoring enemy aviation and air defense systems within a radius of 600 kilometers and adjusting missile strikes. Considering their cost and the shortage of qualified crew members, the Russians always cherished the A-50, but it wasn't enough. On January 14th, an A-50 was shot down. This is the first destruction of a long-range radar detection aircraft since 1969, when a North Korean MiG-21 shot down an American EC-121. Another A-50 was destroyed on February 23rd. How Ukrainians did this is not known. However, it is evident that they use any weapon provided to them extremely effectively. pilots of the 350 downed Russian aircraft would certainly agree with this.
Yes. So that's an interesting video that I wanted to show you about their AWACS. So Ukraine has done a brilliant job blinding Russia and Crimea. And by blinding Russia and Crimea, I mean that Ukraine has Ukrainian officials, HUR for the most part, had a series of operations that have been incredibly successful that would basically bait these AWACSs to come out close to the coast of Crimea. They would move the Patriot and they would take it down. That's the story. The story is that the Patriot would be moved close to the range, to a range necessary to take it down, and it would be taken down. They started with 8. They now have 6. But the thing is that not all of the 8 were operational. So I would say that probably about half of them were operational and half of them were there, but not in an operational condition. That means if we took down 2, they either have 1 more operational or 2 more operational, which is really bad because AWACS is a radar control system that basically navigates their air defense or whatever air defense they have, which seems like none because genuinely they have been having a very hard time taking down anything that comes to their territory, which is kind of funny. Next on the docket today, in occupied Melitopol, the resistance forces destroyed the Russian occupiers and their equipment. The exact losses are not specified. 2 explosions rang out in the city yesterday. Almost 20 Russian soldiers, 2 Kamaz tilt trucks, and a UAZ Patriot were in the epicenter of the explosion. Therefore, they're no longer with the Russians. I was going to say no longer with us, but they're no longer with the Russians. The U.S. State Department, after the terrorist attack in Crocus City Hall, again recommends that Americans leave Russia. Here is a statement from President Zelensky. What happened yesterday in Moscow, obviously, both Putin and other scum are just trying to blame on someone else. They always have the same methods. It's basically a deja vu. There are blown up houses, shootings, and explosions, and they always shift the blame onto other people, said President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky in an evening video message. They come to Ukraine, burn our cities, and try to blame Ukraine. They torture and essay our people, yet we are the ones blamed. They have driven hundreds of thousands of their terrorists onto Ukrainian land, fighting against us without concern for what's happening in their own country. All of this unfolded yesterday while Putin, instead of addressing his Russian citizens, remained silent for a day, contemplating how to shift the blame to Ukraine. It's entirely predictable. The hundreds of thousands of Russians currently dying on Ukrainian soil should be enough to halt any terrorists. If the Russians are willing to die silently in the Caucasus without questioning their special service, then Putin will exploit any situation to further his personal power. Of course. Russian oil is finally feeling the impact of sanctions, according to Bloomberg. Or is Russian oil feeling the impact of Ukrainian drones? I feel like it's the latter. Since October 2023, dozens of tankers have remained idle due to tightened U.S. sanctions targeting the Shadow Fleet transporting oil from Russia. Notably, tankers owned by the state-run Sovcomflot have ceased accepting oil from all Indian refiners. The Russian oil export apparatus, which finances the Kremlin's war in Ukraine, is beginning to falter. While significant supply cuts aren't expected yet, the question looms: how far will Western regulators tighten the screws? The article states, currently oil prices are on track to reach $90 per barrel. Shipping cargo via the Baltic Sea to China costs approximately $14.50 a barrel, with over half of that cost attributed to sanctions. Aw, sad. Hi, Paul. So sad. Aw, sad. In Kharkiv, 35% of residential buildings are now connected to electricity, with half of them already heated. Mayor Ihor Terehov stated that restoration work in the city is ongoing. However, due to significant damage to the energy infrastructure following the Russian missile attack, experts are unable to provide a precise timeline for full restoration of electricity to Kharkiv residents. Yeah, I mean, Kharkiv has been bombarded really heavily in the past couple of days. There were 17 hits only yesterday. My friend lives in Kharkiv, and he was telling me about all the explosions that he was hearing as they were, not as they were happening, but kind of, close after. And he actually posts a lot of stories on the matters. Let me see if anything today. No, nothing really. But this is something that he had filmed from his window, from his car window, as you can see. This is one of the explosions he saw. The reason why he's not in a bomb shelter is because he's actually a first responder of sorts. And he actually trains Ukrainian military in oh, Nazar, wait, I did not see. Yes, Nazar, I didn't see. Thank you. I actually didn't see it. It did not notify me for some reason. I saw, okay, so we have another $45 donation, which brings us to $13,999.37. And then we have a $60.03 donation from Nazar. And that brings us to $14,059.40. Let me see if I've missed anything else, because for some reason it wasn't showing up, or maybe I was, nope. Okay, so everything from today. Yeah. Sorry, Nazar. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for the nudge. So yeah. Sorry. So yeah, Nazar. Oh, hi, Dominic. Sorry, Nazar donated to the fundraiser, and he messaged me, and he was like, "Hey, did my donation not go through because I didn't read it out loud? But for some reason, it didn't show up on my screen, and I wasn't looking at or I wasn't looking at the screen at the time, and I just missed it. So while I was looking for Nazar's donation, I also found Liam's donation. So, so there are two, which is thank you for the nudge. That was super nice. We'll send our love and gratitude to him. Yeah. So yes. The bot's stupidity is fun to laugh at. Yes, it is very fun to laugh at. Oh gosh, it is very fun to laugh at. I'm loving the bot stupidity, to be honest. Who isn't loving the bot stupidity? We need to know how Linda is. I guess Nazar is not on YouTube anymore, so because he's not responding. So I don't know if we are able to find out how Linda is today. Oh my gosh, this is such an unfavorable angle, but oh well. Here's what bloat looks like, so enjoy. Anyways, I favor it. I don't favor it, but also, the reality of the matter is that I find it so funny when I see people online who are trying to look their best and pretend this is not reality, but it is what it is. I'm bloated. So it's fine. 1 second. I'm actually going to get even more bloated right now because I'm going to drink a new kind of kombucha. You guys know that I used to hate kombucha. Well, not hate, but just not like kombucha before I came to Ukraine. And then for some reason, I've started liking kombucha here. So this one is a new kind of kombucha. I actually bought 3 of them of different flavors, and I absolutely despised the 2 previous ones because they were not great. So I opened this one, but I didn't have the chance to try it yet. I opened it before the live. And this one is called B&T. And it's lemon juniper. So maybe this one's better. The other 2 were horrendous, and I really didn't like them. Oh, I actually don't mind this one. Lemon juniper. Juniper. Is it supposed to increase energy? No, it's a probiotic. It's supposed to it's really good for your stomach and stuff. And kombuchas are probiotics. Actually, I feel like maybe Mashbook would know something. I don't know why. It's because of the state he's from. It's an assumption. It's really an assumption that I'm making based on the state that Mashbook is from. And it is definitely a stereotype because I imagine all people from California and the state Mashbook is from drink kombucha all the time. And it's just, it's certainly not true. There's no reason for me to think that. But for some reason, I just associate the state that he's from with kombucha. And weed. Kombucha and weed. But, so Mashbook, you can either prove me right or prove me wrong. And you can either say that you know nothing of kombuchas, or you can tell us what benefits kombucha has. Kombucha is just a version of 1990s China rib. Yeah. Yeah, I'm surrounded by crunchy people and used to be crunchy myself. See, I knew it. My little stereotypes about your state are right. I'm so sorry. I used to grow my own kombucha. How was I so on point? Oh my God, wait, I'm actually kind of proud of myself. But that doesn't mean that every single person from that state is a kombucha lover. But yes, so kombucha is a probiotic that is supposed to be really good for your metabolism and stuff like that. I mean, so here's the thing, I like lightly carbonated drinks with a flavor. And so I couldn't find any lightly carbonated drinks that are flavored in Ukraine that I like, because we practically have morshinska that has some sort of a flavor, and it wasn't my thing. And then I saw Spraha, which is this kombucha that I really like. It's freaking fantastic. I've been drinking this on every live. And I didn't realize it was kombucha when I picked it up, and I only realized that it was kombucha when I got home, even though it says kombucha in massive letters right here. So, whatever. But this was our first night in Kyiv. We went grocery shopping, me and Robert and Linnea at the time. Robbie is right here. And I just picked up whatever. And I was like, oh, this looks like flavored carbonated water. And so no Walmart in Ukraine, no. So I picked it up and then I was like, you know what? I'll try it anyway. And I tried it and I actually really liked it because it doesn't taste as heavily carbonated as kombucha normally does, and it doesn't have that bitter aftertaste sort of, which these do. So this is a real kombucha. That's a kombucha light, and so I really liked it, and that's what ended up happening. Yulia, how is the dog doing today? So, Liv is good. She's with the trainer. I actually can show you some of Liv's videos with the trainer. And wonder how well that will go long term. The Russians are forced to sell discount oil to Indians for worthless rupees as you can buy. So, Carl, actually, this is not going well anymore to begin with because the U.S. tightened sanctions and India refused to buy their crude. They had they were going to sign a contract for a huge deal on crude, and they refused to do it. So, yeah, exactly. And that's the biggest company. So it's not going well already. But for those of you who want to know about the doggo, I am going to show you videos of the doggo. Give me 1 second. The trainer sent me quite a few today. And they were very cute. But I can't find it because there's so much information and so many. Oh, here. There we have it. Okay, so this is Liv over here with one of the trainers. So 1 sec. You're going to see her in a minute. This is her. This is the trainer's assistant. She's a very, very sweet girl. Look at her. I see that Liv prefers women to men, so it's actually really good that women have been reaching out to me to take her. She really does take to this trainer, and I'm kind of like wondering if maybe she wants to take Liv because Liv really likes her. Yeah, see, like I also think that she really does need, like I think that she really does need like a huge backyard, because look how happy she looks. She's just like running around and having a great time. She's sniffing things. She really likes the outdoors, but not like, you know, but not oh, bud. She really likes the outdoors, but not like the kind of outdoors that are like in the city. She likes the type of outdoors that are, you know, in like nature. Look at her. Look at this little thing. Oh, I miss her so much. I really don't like seeing these videos because they make me so sad. Look at her. You're so cute. Oh. Just like taking it out of this dog's mouth. Like, what is happening? See, like, it's interesting because she doesn't get nearly as jealous in like packs, nor does she get nearly as like jealous in so this is the trainer. This is him with her. And she doesn't get nearly as jealous. Yeah, when she either needs to be alone or like in a huge pack of dogs. So yeah, so it's so yeah, so there is that. She's really food motivated. Oh yes. What do you mean? Of course she's food motivated. She's a French bulldog. They're all food motivated. Cindy, what do you have to say to that? What do you have to say to your food motivation situation? Cindy. Cindy, are you food motivated? Do you want to see what food motivated looks like? Give me 1 second. Sinon. Oh, what happened? Why did you get up? Why did you get up, bud? What's up? What made you feel like you should get up? What happened? Anything in particular? Hey, come here. Okay, come here. Come here. All right, sit. Sit. Sit, bud. Okay, 1 second. Sit. Yes, I get it. I understand. Okay, lady, come here. Sit, 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 sit. Okay. The focus. Okay. That, ladies and gentlemen, is food motivation. Yes, she's very well behaved. She does like, she will wait until I tell her that she can take something. So she's like, you know, she's a very good dog. Look at that. Oh my God, it's so funny. She's, oh, you guys. Jesus, Sin. Like, next time I have these for, wait. I have these for her for next time. Okay, I got these as well. I think this is, oh, this is one whole one. Oh my God, this is gonna be for like a holiday or something. I thought that these were, I thought that these were like actually, you know, separate ones because the tiny little ones that I got, they were a set of 3. Boykachina, it was FSB. Look at how Putin came to power. Same story, different terrorists, ironically using fentanyl to kill a theater full of elites who opposed him. Yes, we did. So in the beginning of the stream, we did talk. So basically, this is we are at an hour and 44 minutes. We're an hour and 44 minutes in. In the beginning, we did talk about this, and I did present a plethora of evidence as to why I think that that's exactly what happened and why it looks like an FSB inside job. And if you want to, no one's going to argue you here on this one, unless they're a troll. So yes, we do agree with you. So if you would like to see what we were talking about earlier, then you can scroll to the beginning of the stream and you'll find it there. Late salute. Hi. Yeah, we're at the tail end of the stream. We're basically, you know, just watching my dog annihilate this bone, and that's the ASMR you're hearing. But tomorrow I will be going to an Azov rally. Actually, let me post about this on my YouTube because Rick, who is coincidentally also going to be there, I was like, Rick, do you want to come to this Azov POW support rally? And he was like, oh, yes, I'm going to be there. And I was like, oh, great. And he's like, so should I name the stream with Yulia? I was like, yes, you can name the stream with Yulia. So I'm going to be seeing Rick at the rally tomorrow, and we're going to be there together. Well, so we weren't originally planning on being there together, but Rick is going, I am going, and I'm actually going with my friend Masha from Kyiv Independent. So I guess both of us are going to introduce her to you. Masha is fantastic. She had started her beware dog treats. She had started her own TikTok, and her TikTok is Masha Go Round, like go round, and she posts a lot of really good content about Ukraine and about her experiences in Ukraine because she's moved back from Australia. The way that I moved back from the US, and yeah. Yeah, and so she's great, and I really want you guys to meet her. Also, yes, this is Cinny. Cinny wants more. Of course, Cinny wants more. No, bud. Like literally the only thing left here that's for you is this massive thing, and I'm sorry, bud. Wait, I want to see her face when she sees it. Wait. Okay, bud, next time. Sorry, bud, that is a lot. You just had a huge one. A huge one. Okay, wait, sit, wait. I feel like she's gonna eat me. Wait, right there. Fine. Okay. Are you gonna do the tooth foam? You don't like the tooth foam? Cinny, come here. Hey, come here. Cinny, come here. Okay, Cinny, come here. Come right here. You gotta do good things and you gotta do things that are necessary. And unfortunately, this is one of the necessary things. One sec. So this is tooth cleaning foam, just FYI. We did this yesterday. She doesn't quite love it, but you know, but it looks kind of cute. Yeah. she does like it. Because this dog will eat anything that's put in front of her. Okay. It also just looks so cute. Like, it genuinely, I'm sorry, but this looks adorable. And I don't care what anyone says. It looks adorable. And it is good for her because it cleans her little teeth. So yeah, this is Cinny. Alrighty, you guys. I think this is Rios. Putin is desperate, so they planned this false flag attack. Yes, agreed. Agreed. And Princess Chelsea has a great tune called Yulia. Yes, I know it. It actually used to be my one of my favorite songs because no one has a song named Yulia, not Julia. And I love Princess Chelsea. I also like their track. I think it's called Cigarette. And Rios, if you are just tuning in, this is the tail end of the stream, so I'm literally just feeding my dog and brushing her teeth. But if you would like to see, the previous, if you would like to see what we were talking about on the stream that does confirm what you say, because we agree with you, you can go back to the beginning of the stream and you will find all of the evidence that I've showed that point to the fact that it's an inside job from the FSB, as per usual. What's up, bud? Okay. Russian cops show up in 20 seconds for a rally, 20 minutes for a mass casualty event. It was actually not 20 minutes, it was an hour. And the funny thing is that their special forces police unit is literally across the street from the shopping mall, so it makes no sense for them to have done that. Alrighty, I will see you guys tomorrow. For those of you that are just tuning in, this is a live stream and we're literally finishing this. This is why you're watching me hanging out with my dog for the past 15 minutes. But if you want to watch actual content that does talk about this mall and explains why this is most likely an FSB inside job, just scroll to the beginning of the stream. Alrighty. Alrighty, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for everyone who watched and continuously donates to drones for 3rd Separate Assault Brigade. And thank you for all of the, for all of the love for Cinny. I love you, bud. Alrighty. Good night. See you tomorrow, as always.